we get a text saying that Shay Mitchell is gonna come visit our suite. Welcome back to Rolling with the Punches. I'm so happy to see you guys. I'm your host, Natalie Loretta. We turn life's curveballs into opportunities. I'm in LA right now. Where are you guys? Drop below in the comments where you are right now. I miss everybody so much. It's been a month, but I've been super busy. If you're interested, I post daily vlogs of my life on TikTok. So if you're into that, just check out my TikTok. It's been a month since I dropped that bombshell on you guys that I was moving to LA. It was like the little secret at the end. Today's episode, I realized that all of my content is about other people. And today I want to talk about why I started this podcast, Rolling with the Punches, and like the amount of stories that have happened since I've been here in LA. Let's get into it. Cat's out of the bag. I did move here. Since the last time I spoke to you guys, I've been on like 10 different airplanes. Let's get into it. Making the decision to come here was not easy, and my mom and my family did not make it any easier. Like, my mom and my dad specifically were very hesitant to let me come to LA because it's not like it's a drive away, it's literally across the country from Miami, where I was born and raised. And in my culture, like, you stay with your family, like, like you try to live in the same city as long as you can, so you stick together, especially in the Latino community. For when I went away for college, it was the hardest decision I've ever had to make in my life, pressing accept decision, and I'll get into that later. Ever since I've gotten here, there's been so many opportunities that come my way. The second I posted in LA, I posted a martial arts video of me boxing and like doing some kicks, and a company reached out to me, Wolfpack, if I was interested in doing a brand collaboration with them. And I was like, hell yeah. So I did it and it went amazing. I did a martial arts shoot and then I did a sit down interview at their headquarters. It was so far, but my takeaway from this is don't stop posting about things that you love. If I would have never posted that I was boxing in LA, I would have never gotten that collaboration. And it really gave me inspiration and hope that this city does have a lot of opportunities, especially in my small niche of martial arts. And I want to be an entertainer. I want to be a superhero one day. I say it all the time, and people laugh at me, but I'm not going to stop posting daily vlogs until I become a superhero. I want to be a Marvel superhero, and I embody that every day in my life. So this is one step closer. Do the things that you want to do, and don't be scared of who sees it. You know what I mean? And the next day. So that was crazy already. So I'm super happy. And that day, my boyfriend was pitching, and I made it on time. He almost missed his job because I took the car, and that's another thing. I don't have a car, so we share a car. My car is currently in Orlando, where my apartment is. So back to the story. The next day in LA, Baze was having a sweet night for all the girlfriends at Dodger Stadium, and I was like, "This is awesome." And they told us we are getting a little bag, and it was just so cute. And I got there, I was super happy. I go to the Dodger games anytime that I can. We get a text saying that Shay Mitchell is gonna come visit our suite. I was like, wait, what? Shay Mitchell? Like the bass queen? Like, she was visiting her suite because it's her company. So for the people that don't know, it is a travel luxury company and it's really good. I don't have that, but my older sister has the Barbie pink one, which is crazy. And it just gave me a huge impact and perspective that you never know who you're gonna meet in LA and when. In the suite, it's my first time in a suite, so I'm already having a ball. And she walks in. And honestly, like, I was a little bit nervous, but I remember that everyone's a human. And I went up to her, I introduced myself, I said, I'm Natalie. I'm one of the girlfriends of the pinchers, and I explained to her like a little bit about what I do, and her jaw dropped. She was like, "What? You a fighter?" And I was like, yeah. And then I showed her my fight videos, and she like was obsessed. She was scrolling through my Instagram, and then she showed me her phone of how much she loves martial arts. She loves UFC. She loves the fact that I make content about UFC, which we're gonna talk about later. But I was so shocked that she's a UFC fan, guys. Shay Mitchell is a UFC fan. Like what? So, if the girlies want to know more about UFC, you should follow my TikTok and my YouTube shorts because I do post those if you want to stay updated, like Miss Shay. And nothing, I was telling her you should make a boxing bag because the boxing bags that I have are very ugly or they're just like duffel bags, you know. And she was like, I'm so down. And I'm hoping one day she'll think of me for the collaboration. I was telling her when I fight, well, she saw it for my pink braids, and I was like, you should do that for a campaign, like the pink braids, like that's so cool, you know? But what an amazing experience. And I was just taken aback of how humble she is, despite how successful she is. Like, she's such an amazing human. She's humble, she's a mom, businesswoman, actress, everything I want to be in my life. And I'm just so happy that I met someone that I looked up to when I was little, especially watching her on Pretty Little Liars. And some hydrogen water. A couple days after that, I went to a foundation charity event for a comedy night, and it was Netflix is a joke fest, and it was for the Dodgers comedy night. So I went to that, and it was a blue carpet event. So I dressed super nice, and I had never been to a comedy show in my life, and I was not expecting to laugh so hard. Like I left with streaks on my face of how much I was crying laughing. Like the player Will Smith and his wife Kara Smith hosted the event, and it was all in donations for their charity for the Catching Hope Foundation. And I saw her in the bathroom. I'm like, Kara, I'm cry laughing of how much Cedric the Entertainer was there, a bunch of Netflix comedians, and there was a magician at the end. But it was just overall 10 out of 10 experience, something I never expected to have so much fun from. Oh my god, oh, best part about it all, Will Ferrell made a guest appearance and he started shooting out t-shirts. And like it was like a 10-second thing. Like he came out onto the stage, shot at the t-shirts, ran off, and it was super fun to see him. So I saw so many celebrities and comedians and entertainers, and I just feel like I'm in the right place because it generally makes me feel happy and inspired to continue doing what I'm doing, which is making content for you guys. So I said earlier, I traveled on 10 different airplanes. In one of those, I went to Korea. The rest were around the country, typical flights that I always do. Arizona, Miami, no biggie. But Korea, I have never been there before in my life. And guys, what an amazing experience. Like, it was number one on my bucket list to go to Cookie One headquarters. If you know me, I'm gonna get into it a little bit later when I get into my life story when why I started rolling with the punches. But I did Taekwondo my whole life, and it was my dream to go to the headquarters of where Taekwondo is, where everybody gets their black belts. You could test there. They have demonstrations. They have the Hall of Fame. They have a museum of Taekwondo, all the Olympic history. Like for me, that is what I look up to and what I idolize. So for me to see all the pins of the Olympics, the belts, and I got to train with the national team of Korea, guys. Like it was not easy. I was not allowed to record because they don't like their trainings to be imitated. So I respected that, but I did record a lot of videos in the Poomsae temples of me doing martial arts alone, and it was just such a beautiful experience. And I just sat down in Cookie One crying my eyes out. And I just was shaking the whole time because I had never felt something so surreal in my life. Like there's certain places that give me chills. For me, that was it. It was number one at my headquarters, and my dad also went there when he was my age. So it was like a full circle moment. We just sat on FaceTime there crying. The head instructor asked me, "Why are you crying?" I go, "This is my dream, sir, to be here today with you." What a beautiful moment. Also, the first baseman coach, it was a family trip, so the daughters went and they do taekwondo, so they came with me, and thank God that they went with me with their mom. because they were my shoulder to cry on, and I felt so bad. I was crying the moment the driveway entered. I was already crying because I was shaking. I was like, oh my god, my body's here. I was Kung Fu Panda in the time I was doing ha ha doing Taekwondo in the temples. That was me. I was Kung Fu Panda for a whole couple days. So I love that experience, and I'm so happy I got to go. The reason why I was in Korea was because the Dodgers and the Padres started the World Tour Series in Korea, and my boyfriend invited me. So I was so happy to watch him pitch, and he did amazing, like always. So it was just a great experience for both of us to live in the moment in a different country, and just amazing. And we saw this cool library. Like, I'm gonna post a whole YouTube video about Korea. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. Everything there is so different and techie. Like, it was so crazy. But I was starving because since I'm vegan, it was very hard for me to find food, and they were mixing meat and everything, and I was like starving. But I went to go support the Dodgers, and number one bucket list checked off. Check. I need to check my Uber Eats order. My Uber Eats is at the door. Hold on, let's pause for a second. My bad, guys. I was so hungry. I just got this place, Monty's. It's really good. It's all 100% vegan in LA, and it came to Uber Eats, so I'm pretty happy going. I cannot complain, but I was talking to you guys, but I promise you, like, I was also thinking about my food. Like, I could not fully focus. You know when your brain needs food in order to fully focus? Like, that's what I truly felt like. I was focusing on my milkshake. Hold on. I need to grab my milkshake too. Okay. On the real though, I'm super excited to start this new adventure with my relationship too, because now we're getting to spend more time together and travel the world and, you know, really spend quality time, because we've been doing long distance for a very long time, and it's tiring. I would travel every other weekend, meet him halfway. I hate meet him halfway. I'm happy that I'm not gonna be traveling as much, but I do love traveling. Let's just say, because you guys know I love to collect my trading cards. Oh my gosh, something's happening outside. The good thing about my job is I'm able to do it with traveling. So it's an online marketing job. I've been doing marketing jobs since I was in college, and I love it because you're able to help out so much businesses literally straight from your computer. So what I do, I've always done, is being a social media manager, and I help businesses grow. So I will make their graphics, their ads. I will literally post it for them, and I work for a marketing firm, and then they put the money into it daily on Facebook ads. But I do all the campaigns, the creative strategies. I help out connect businesses to grab their data and duplicate them and put them our way. I get your phone number ringing if you have a business. So that's what my job is. But when I was in college, it was mostly being the manager of everybody, making sure that everybody was doing their job. Like, if there's a request to do a change on the website, I was making sure that that request was being made with the graphic manager. So I was like a middleman in a way. So when I was in college, that's kind of like why I studied management, because that's what I was doing. And then I learned about social media management for my job. I started controlling the Instagram accounts of a bunch of companies and started them from scratch, like just like medical companies. It was like a writing company, like CD companies, like any type of company. I would help them grow, and I was put on the account to post their content. And basically, I was a Santina. Did you guys see that Santina is no longer working for Dr. Miami? Tremendo chisme. Tremendo chisme. And now the Suli Papi girl from TikTok is Dr. Miami's social media marketing manager. Like, that's actually crazy. So yeah, back to the social media stuff. I love it. It's something I could do around the world. In Korea, I was able to do some meetings in uh Miami. I can do it anywhere I want. Like, so it's awesome. And as long as I get my job done, I'm on my meetings, I do what I have to do, I'm okay. But then on the other hand, my F45 job, I was doing it. If you follow me on TikTok, I would post about it a lot in my Rolling with the Punches Instagram channel. I would post about it a lot, like just me teaching people workouts. And I still post my workouts. I post free full workouts that you're able to do with two dumbbells, like a full body workout, weights. But um I'm able to do that because I trained as an F45 trainer for so long. I was coaching people, and I'm gonna get into my journey later, but it was a job that it was very hard to get time off. It was very hard to trade your shifts with people. And once your name is on the schedule, your name is on the schedule, and you have to go. Like, even if you have a flat tire, Uber, you have to make it to that job because you literally have to open up the studio and like 40 people will be waiting to do a class, and it's your job to make sure everyone's in, the class goes smoothly. So it's something very in person, and I love doing it. I love helping people, which is why I did it for so long because it changed my life, which I'll get to later. But I was really tired from it because I was like helping out so many people do their social media, helping out people get to their health journey, and I felt like I was kind of losing myself again. I found myself very lonely in Orlando. Yeah. I was going through such a lonely period in Orlando. Mind you, I'm doing long distance, like I don't have my family with me, and I started making TikToks, and I kind of saw how I made more money in TikTok in a month than I was doing in my job, and I was like, I need to go full force with rolling with the punches, now or never. And that was like 4 months ago that I started seeing that income come in. So I was like, okay, if I put the amount of time that I do into those F45 channels into my workout videos for myself and make my channels grow, like maybe I can dig myself out. Every week I'm posting full body workouts or upper body or lower body. I'm posting those workouts for you guys because it's my way of rolling with the punches when I get stuff like being in the gym, feeling strong. It makes me feel strong. So if I can help someone else feel strong, I hope you can watch those videos and maybe add one of the workouts that I do to your routine if it works for you. Progressions, MMA workouts, whatever you like. And I'm giving you Fight Universe stuff. Like, I love UFC. I love talking about it, and I post about it on my channel all the time. You guys see my YouTube videos. I can't stop talking about it. And like there's so many things that's gone on in 2024 already. It's almost June and the fight world has been crazy. On TikToks, I post debrief the beef in martial arts videos, but I also debrief the beef in all sports. So if you heard that on TikTok, that is part of a segment of Rolling with the Punches that I do, but I just clip it small for TikTok so that everybody could see it on Instagram. Derek Lewis knocked out Nacimiento last weekend. Another knockout for the Knockout King. Wow. I am going to say, Nacimiento was super promising. I thought that he was going to give him a tough fight, at least go all the rounds, but Derek Lewis knocked him out in the beginning. He did this crazy dance, and he was like, my wife is going to get it. He's a little crazy, but I love Derek Lewis. I'll say this a million times because I have on my channel if you follow me. Why did Pantoja fight Steve Erceg? It just didn't make any sense. He was not even close to the top 5 in the rankings, and he got such a major opportunity, which, by the way, the news broke out today that Belal Muhammad is fighting Leon Edwards. What is that? That is going to be such a boring fight, I feel like. It should have never happened. About Pantoja and Steve Erceg. That fight should have never happened. Then 2 weekends ago, Pereira knocked out Hill. Wow. What a clean fashion Pereira. I wanted Pereira to win, but like also I would have wanted Hill to have his breakout moment versus Pereira, you know? But Pereira's going strong and he's fighting again.
His feet are fine.
Rose Namajuanas is back and she is fighting Macy Barker. This is gonna be the craziest fight of the year in my opinion because I am such a fan of both of these two strong ladies. Rose Namajuanas, she is ranked number 6 and she is 13-6. She's 31 years old and I love both of these athletes. I just respect Rose's history so much. Let's not forget her trilogy with Joanna and the way that she defeated Zhang Wei Li undeniably. Like, she has earned her way to the Hall of Fame, and she's the lady that has shown that striking makes wins in UFC too.
Then on the other hand, we have Macy Barber. She's on a 6-fight win streak. She's only 25 years old. She is 14-2, and I just think she's currently unstoppable in the flyweight division. And I do think that Macy Barber is going to be champion. She's so close already. She's number 4. And I think that if she beats Rose, she deserves to fight the champ, Zhang Weili. I think she does. I think that Macy should fight her, and because Macy has shown that she can go all the rounds, she can fight to the end. And let's not forget and give her a little bit of grace, because Macy was very, very young when she entered the UFC. I remember I was probably in high school when I saw Macy step out for the first time. She's so cute. She has such a great spirit, and I'm gonna put my money, like I always do, on Macy Barber. She's just somebody that's very reliable. She always shows up, and she's a dog in the cage, and that's why she's on that win streak. And I'm just gonna tell you guys, it's gonna be an upset, because a lot of people are gonna doubt her, but not me. She has fights over Seminara, Amanda Ribas, Lee. I don't think she's afraid to fight anyone, guys. 302 is another one that's going to be an amazing card, and I actually know someone on the card, a couple people on the card, so this is going to be crazy. It's Islam versus Dustin. Dustin Poirier fought Limois St. Dennis not too long ago, and he won undeniably, and now he's getting the opportunity to fight the champ, and I'm gonna put my money on Dustin. On that same card, we have Strickland, Big Mouth, fighting the other Big Mouth, Paulo Costa. This is gonna be crazy. I kind of want Strickland to win, you know? Like, they're both crazy fighters, inside and out. But I hope Strickland wins this one. On that same card, my former teammate at Fusion, Phil Rowe, he is fighting Jake Matthews, a welterweight that I interviewed on a Millions podcast. Basil Hassef. He is fighting Mickey Gall in the welterweight division. So I'm super excited to see him, because I'm rooting for him, and I hope he wins that division. And then another person that I interviewed, Adrian Giannis, is fighting Vinculus Salvatore. So good luck to Adrian, good luck to Phil, good luck to Basil. This upcoming weekend, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of strawweights in the card, and there's a girl from Venezuela, so I'm super excited to watch her scrap. Piedra, and then versus Ariane, Vanessa versus Emily, Angela Hill versus Luana. So these are gonna be super exciting fights, and I love watching the girls, so hell yeah. And like, what do you guys think? Drop it below right now. What do you think about the Bilal versus Leon Edwards fight? Because for me, it's not really sitting too well. I'm just like, why? I don't get it. Regardless of what happens, it's gonna be a crazy carnival on Twitter. At the end of the day, it's whatever makes the people talk, right? And this is making me talk right now on this podcast, so it's working, this matchup, you know? In fighting, there's a lot of things that I use in life. Like, in a fight, when something's not working, a strategy, you have to change it, you know? So going back earlier to the story of like why I moved here to LA, like I just felt like my life in Orlando wasn't working out, and I had to do something to change it. I was there for such a long time, and I just felt that nothing that I wanted and no opportunities were near me. So I was, in a way, wasting my time. This is going to be the full circle story of why I started my channel. I'm going to rewind to a place just 1 month ago. I was living in a city for a Delulu reason, and let me explain. I graduated college from UCF in Orlando. It's the University of Central Florida. And I loved it there for the time that I was there. I studied sports business management. I studied marketing as well. I learned so much. That's where I became an F45 trainer. I needed a fresh start in my life, and I truly think that I needed to figure out who I was without my sport of Taekwondo. Everybody from my high school went to stay in Miami. They went to FSU or UF. Nobody was going to UCF. Like maybe like one person, but nobody was going to UCF. I picked UCF because I needed to get away from the situation that I was in Miami for myself.
Let me paint you the picture. I was raised by my grandparents. They were, my grandma was born in Cuba, my grandpa was born in Peru, and the other two were born in Cuba. My parents were always busy working, so they were the ones to take care of me, and I'm so grateful for them for being raised by their love. And I think about them in everything that I do because they truly raised me. But my dad was the owner of a martial arts studio in Miami. So if you know Karate Kid, the spin-off TV series Cobra Kai, I am basically the daughter, Samantha LaRusso. That is my life. Except for the fact that I was competing internationally for a dream to be in the Olympics one day. And my dad never got to go to the Olympics, so like our family dream was for at least one of us to make it to the Olympics, you know? We competed every single weekend, but what you're not understanding is that you also have to make weight. So if you don't make weight, you cannot compete. That's a problem. So if you have to make weight every other weekend, it's tough to stay close to that weight. So I would lose it the wrong way. I would lose it through water weight, saunas, plastic suits, boxing bags, dying in the heat. That was my life, and I hated it. So I told myself, like, I don't want to compete again until I'm healthy in a healthy weight range because I had a very unhealthy relationship with food because of my lifestyle, the craziness of always competing, never having time off, always fighting through injuries. It was never really a break. And since I was the daughter of a Taekwondo master, like I was always supposed to be there. Like the daughters were always supposed to be there and lead by example. And because we're his daughters, he took us harder than everyone else. And it was just so hard for me to balance school and even be a good student. So my little sister now, she has so much time for herself, but she doesn't do taekwondo like we did. She just does it for fun, not competitively, which is what the difference was. Our situation was so stressful. Like my mom wanted me to be very well rounded and she wanted me to be feminine. So she put me in so many sports, me and my siblings. Like she put us in every sport you could think of: ice skating, dance, hip hop, violin, but doing the piano, anything you could think of, we did it. I did soccer, cheer, everybody in my family, like my little sister, my older sister. And so it was a stressful life. On top of that, that was our bread and butter. My mom got so stressed to the point that she got leukemia. I remember the moment she was diagnosed. We were on the way to Disney and we had to turn back because my mom couldn't go to Disney because she had to be close to the hospital. And my little sister, she was like a baby at the time. She was like, "Why are we going to Disney?" And I was like, "Oh my god, we can't even explain to her because she's a baby. She doesn't understand why we can't go to Disney." But she's in remission now. Thank God she's okay. But she sacrificed everything for us to be able to live the lifestyle that she wanted, going to Catholic school, and she tried her best. She would get us Vera Bradley, the Nike shoes. Like she tried her best, but it wasn't like, all the other girls, and they always were with their hair done. Like my mom didn't have the energy for that because she was going through so much physically, and I don't blame her for that, but we did miss out on a lot of opportunities because my mom was sick. Like a lot of competitions, a lot of family events, friends events, like, and that's where I learned what real friendship was because the friends that spent time with me in the hospital that got to see my mom, how I knew who my real friends were. I literally went from being an Olympic fighter to fighting for my mom's life. Thank God my mom is healed. She's feeling better today and she's able to come to all of my events. And I love my mom so much. She's gone through so much and she's so quiet. And I'm going to get on a podcast episode with her because I want my mama to share her story. But then after all of that, my grandparents that raised me, they all died back to back. Like it was crazy. My two grandmas from both sides passed away, like very back to back, like 2 months apart. So I felt like we couldn't really recover. And a part of me felt like I could have done more to get to know them. And I was so young when they passed away, but I think about them so much. And then my grandma passed away from COVID, which was so heartbreaking because we swear that he died in the hospital because he was perfectly fine. He went in for something else and ended up dying from COVID. So it was just really tough. And I just felt so lonely because the people that I could call in a heartbeat weren't there anymore. So if you're watching this or listening to this, call your grandparents and give them a hug from me, because I feel like anytime I see one of my friend's grandparents, I treat them like my own, because I wish I had mine in my life, you know? With the whole martial arts cutting weight thing, it was tough for me mentally, physically. Like, even the coaches I went through, it was tough. It was tough. They put me through a lot because I was Master Frank's daughter, so they wanted me to be extra great, you know? And it was to the point that I did drastic things to my body. I chopped my hair to make weight. I would, viewers' discretion, I even took out my blood for this. Like, the desperation I had, it's not okay.
My mom is a teacher, so she would spend her whole day with kids, and then after she would work at my dad's taekwondo school. So me growing up, the only time I would see my family all together, my sisters, was in taekwondo. After work, my mom would pick us up, take us to ballet. We would have our ballet tights under our taekwondo uniform, and we would do everything we had to do, you know? But that stress is not okay, and I just feel like my whole family needed a peace wave, and a lot of things happened in my family. Like, my parents' relationship was a little bit on seashells, and I'm 17 years old at the time. I have to choose where I'm going to college, and I have to decide, am I going to continue my taekwondo career in Miami with my dad? It was a big change in my life, and there's this song that I like to listen to that helps me be comfortable with the unknown. I decided to make the most selfish, what I felt like the most selfish decision I've ever made in my life. I decided to go to college away in Orlando. And in all of this, my parents decided to get divorced, which is a whole other thing, because I know I'm not young, but I'm a little bit older when my parents got divorced. So it was a little bit tough because I know what's going on, you know, it's not like you're younger, but at the end of the day, it happened for the better. We're all happier. We all have our own lives. My dad got his peace wave, my mom got her peace wave, but I got my peace wave, but I wasn't truly happy with myself. When I got to college, I lost myself because I was truly trying to figure out, who is Natalie without Taekwondo. When I got there, I gained so much weight to the point that no sorority wanted to take me in. And I didn't recognize myself in the mirror. I didn't recognize myself. I could have gone to FIU and stayed home, continued the Taekwondo career, but I decided to go away because I wanted to find myself and figure out what I wanted to do with myself apart from Taekwondo. I had a breakthrough moment one day when I looked at myself in the mirror, and someone had told me, there's no one that's gonna take care of you like you. And when I heard that, that's when everything decided to change. I decided to start researching about health. I'm a freshman in college at this point, living my own, so I can buy the healthy groceries that I want. Like, I can pick and choose my future, you know? So I decided to change my life after watching a documentary, Game Changers, one day, change my diet, change my exercise, and I decided to do an F45 class. So that was where I started my weight loss journey at UCF. And I'm really grateful for that because I had myself to be thankful for. I broke that eating disorder that I had with Taekwondo of, you know, not being healthy. I finally found a stable weight. So I was so happy with myself. I like truly rolled with the punches. I took the opportunities that were in my way. The school had F45 for free, so I would go to the gym. I finally learned the art of balance. I learned a lot about friendships too, because the fact that no sorority wanted to take me in made me feel horrible about myself. And then the only people I had there were my current roommates, and like, they didn't really help me feel better either, because like nobody invited me to anything, and like they knew I wasn't in one. And I'm not saying I should have gotten an invite, but like, you know, like I would have invited somebody if they didn't have something to go to. And one of them even mentioned to me, I would let you borrow one of my dresses, but it wouldn't fit you anyways.
think that's the comment that got me. Freshman year is when I started losing weight, and then sophomore year I started training MMA after I got my marketing job because I was able to pay for the classes, and I loved it. The only horrible thing is that I couldn't find a fight for the longest time. Like everybody kept backing out. So for 2 years, people would back out, and then I finally got a fight, a kickboxing fight, and it was awesome. I won, and I truly proved to myself that I can set my mind to anything I want to do. And I finally fought because I wanted to, not because my dad wanted me to. I fought on my own in a new city with a new camp, not my dad as my coach. My whole new team, they supported me through every single moment in that camp. Like, it was crazy to know that somebody that's not your family can be there so much for you. Like, they were there giving me private sessions, like holding mitts for me. Like, they really pushed me to a level that I never knew that I could get. It was amazing. After my fight, I had an opportunity. I could either keep training MMA or train pro wrestling. And I decided to start training pro wrestling because it brings you a lot of opportunities in acting. And at the end of the day, acting is what I want to do. And like I said, I do want to be a superhero. I want to be a Marvel superhero. So I have to learn those skills. And I was hoping that I was going to get an opportunity to maybe one day be alongside my sister, which is the reason why after I graduated UCF last year, I re signed my niece for a whole year so that I can try out. And I did, but my purpose is no longer there in Orlando because I never got my tryout, but it's okay. And I wasn't cutting it financially in Orlando, so I just had to go and I had to make a decision. Either move to Miami or move to LA where there's so many opportunities, and you know what decision I chose now. But going back to after I graduated, I could have done full force with my marketing job, but I was still part time, and I decided to do another F45 job, but at a real studio, not at a university. And I worked at 4 different locations throughout the Orlando area. And I got to work with so many people, help them with their health journey from the beginning. I worked with beginners all the way to adults, grandparents, and people from all levels of athletes to beginners. And it was so much fun. And I think I got a little bit burnt out of F45, and that's something that I take away. Don't burn yourself out. Don't take on more shifts than you think you can do because then it takes out time and energy from yourself. Like, it was to the point that I didn't have energy to clean my own room in my own house because I was so tired of doing it at my job. I'm like, I don't even want to do this right now in my house, you know? So take time for yourself, and if you can, focus on something else, a different skill you have that can help you make money. So for me, it's the content creation. If that's bringing me income, I gotta keep pushing that, you know? I am gonna control what I can control. I love making sports content for you guys, so that's what I'm going to continue doing, debriefing the beef in all sports. I interview a lot of UFC fighters, sports personalities, entertainers. I even interviewed a comedian once. I love finding out people's stories and how they roll with the punches, which is why I asked that question to see how it could help inspire others. I'm going to pretend that I'm interviewing myself. How do you, Natalie Loretta, roll with the punches? I'm going to say, keep doing what's working. Like in a fight, if something's not working, switch up the strategy, do something different, and use those skills that you learn from every obstacle onto every different challenge. We got this. Roll with the punches, baby. For now, I'm going to leave you with all these clips of how I ask my guests how they roll with the punches. Enjoy, guys. I'm going to leave you with a vlog from Korea coming up soon. There's so much content. If you want, go to my TikTok channel. I have daily vlogs there that I post about my life. I answer all of your questions on my YouTube. I reply to your comments. Like this video, give me a subscribe so I could keep doing what I'm doing, so I could continue rolling with the punches and sharing with you. And also, this is the only Rolling with the Punches podcast. I've been doing it my whole life, so help support, and thank you guys. Love you. How have you rolled with the punches?
Things happen, man. I think I've lost both of my parents to cancer. My mom to breast cancer. My father to lung cancer at a young age. When I was 18 and 21, and that was something that I thought, was going to keep me down at the time. It's always when you're going through it, you think it's going to keep you down, and you don't really see the light at the end of the tunnel. But one thing I've realized is that no matter what it seems like in the moment, you just have to persevere and remember the mindset that got you involved in it in the first place. And so even when I've had losses where it's like, hey, if you win this, you're gonna get signed, and then you don't win and you lose half your person, you don't get signed to the UFC or the large promotion, and you're like set back big time because we both know in MMA it's not like other sports where you can lose, you can have a horrible season, the next season you could be world champion. No, in MMA, every decision you make and every loss you experience sets you back a certain amount of time, whether it's a year, 2 years, 3 years, and that's just the way the sport is. It's very serious in that realm. And so for me, like, just having the perseverance, no matter what negative thing was going on, I find a way to, like, no, I'm not going to give up. Like, I'm not going to stop. Like, no does not mean no. And so, like, I carried that as I've become an adult. And I think it comes from, my family, my parents, like my bloodline, like everyone is hard workers that, my parents came to the country as immigrants and worked their butt off to be able to raise a family and be successful when they came from nothing to be able to do that. A lot of us have been through trauma, or been through things, and I respect when someone's resilient. That means a lot because resiliency really can change your life because everyone's going to experience negative things. Everyone's going to have, nothing's always going to be sweet and dandy. And if it is your whole life, then man, that's sad because when you're going to experience something, you're not going to know what to do. But to me, the perseverance to be resilient and push through is really what makes a difference. Like, my record isn't the greatest, prettiest looking record, 8-4-1, but every one of those losses was an experience in some way of, like, whether I didn't think I lost the fight or whether I got screwed by the judges or whether I just didn't, make the right decisions. They're all opportunities for me to look back and make sure that I don't let it happen again, and that's all ties into the perseverance. And I feel like that is example of my character, to have grit and be perseverant always.